Hello and welcome to Spend a Day with Temwa. On today's episode, we are at Aries Properties and we're here to meet Mr. Washington Chimuzu. We're about to find out about his journey, about his life, his journey as the CEO and everything else that he does as a person. So please welcome Mr. Washington.
Thank you so much, Temwa, for having me on the show.
Thank you very much for agreeing to doing this with us. So please tell me a bit about your journey as the CEO of Aries. How does it look like, and what does a picture of the day look like for you?
Thank you. So my journey has just begun. I joined Aries Properties Malawi Limited in the first week of May 2025. So 4 months into the job.
Pretty much a newbie.
Pretty much a newbie. But prior to this, have worked in other places, lived in other places, and so really privileged to join the company at this time in its journey.
Okay, why Aries Properties?
Wow, that's a good question. A couple of reasons. The primary one being that when I looked at the team and the opportunity I have to work with such a great team as we have in Aries, that for me was a major attraction. And the team is not just the team within Aries, but the team in the ecosystem that Aries operates. And so Aries operates as a subsidiary or a part of the Nico Holdings Group, which is one of the biggest companies in the country. Mm-hmm. It's also part of Aries Property Group South Africa. So Aries Properties Malawi Limited is essentially the product of two large groups. Nico Holdings primarily in the financial services, insurance, banking, and so on, and then Aries Property Group, which is in real estate development and the like. So Aries Properties Malawi Limited falls into that space. So again, being part of that ecosystem where it's dynamic, you have the opportunity to make an impact, make a contribution that affects many lives. The people who use the buildings, the people who own the buildings, you name it, it's a whole spectrum. And so just being a part of that was very, very exciting. Coming from a background of engineering, project management, and facilities, and having worked in that space for me was also, I think, a great way to take my career as well.
Yeah. So why did you choose to study project management? Like, why this career?
Interesting. So coming out of college, I did my undergrad is in civil engineering, and coming out of University of Malawi, then I worked the first 6 months as a volunteer for a church organization that had non-profit work in Cholo.
Is that where you learned how you're public speaking?
Not really, not entirely, but partially, and other opportunities that I've had along the way. 6 months after that project came to an end, I was approached by Total Malawi, now Total Energies, to join them as part of their projects team, and I was there from 2007 until 2011. So during that time, I had a lot of opportunities to work on different projects. It was offices, it was new filling stations, so like the new steers station, which had steers with on it in Blantyre, in Zomba, just countrywide, and great opportunities to grow and to contribute, but also to learn. Total being a French multinational, we had access to experts from France. We had opportunities, and I had opportunities to travel and work in places like Nigeria, Mozambique, South Africa, and also here in Malawi. So it was very, very exciting. And so in the course of that, I realized that, okay, I know engineering, I know construction, that side of things, but this is more than engineering, it's more than design, it's more than supervision. There's a lot of other elements that are going into this job. And my interest in project management came as a result of working on those projects where you're not just dealing with contractors or consultants, you're also dealing with other stakeholders. You're dealing with this. I was reporting to the CEO at some point. I was very young in my career, very young, even at age. And I realized that I love this, but I also want to be a pro and sharpen my skills in this particular field.
Yeah.
And I was very fortunate to get the opportunity to go and study in the US under the Fulbright Scholarship Program. And I was there for 2 years, did my MBA specializing in project management. So it's like a dual MBA. I had a professor who kept telling us that the MBA is an academic qualification, but there's a professional certification called the Project Management Professional, PMP certification. And in my class, I think I was the first one to graduate and immediately get the PMP certification.
Wow.
And come back to Malawi then in 2013. I think I was one of the first 3 to have that certification. The numbers have grown over the years. It's exciting, and to see how the numbers have grown, the interest has grown, the awareness has grown, and I'm game to just share what I have and get others into it as well, because it is a competence that is needed in literally every sector.
Okay, you mentioned something, you were very well traveled. So how has being well traveled changed your mindset when you come back to Malawi? Like, what's the new game plan that you have as you are a well traveled man?
So I count myself privileged and blessed. And travel started, I think, from a young age. So my late father worked for government and at some point served as a diplomat. So growing up was in Ethiopia. And growing up in Ethiopia as a child in the 80s and early 90s, that was the first introduction to living abroad and having the exposure of a different life. And through that also got to travel to, I think, Kenya at some point. Coming back to Malawi and through work and other opportunities, travel has a way of teaching you. I think our first founding president of Malawi used to say that travel is one way of learning, and it is. You get to learn different cultures, different languages, different ways of doing things, but you also get affirmation about the things you're doing, that there are things that you do and others can learn from you as well. So it's not just about going out there to get and use that. You also have a chance to go and give through travel. So I think travel is a powerful way of learning. I think, and yes, you can travel outside the country, but even traveling within the country is equally important. And I've traveled the length and breadth of Malawi for -1 district, Likoma, for now, and I'm looking forward to that. But every trip has been has been a class of its own.
Okay. As a seasoned leader and with your experience, what are some of the principles that you've laid out for yourself that work for you?
I think there are several principles that, again, I've been privileged to work under several leaders, several managers, mentors along the way. My own parents as well emphasized, number one, work hard as a principle. You've got to work hard. It's hard work. It's a lot of hard work. Hard work, both work that is hard and also working hard at the work. So 2 things. And so being able to work hard, being able to give your best at any point in time, listening, helping solve other people's problems, bringing your best foot forward, showing up. I think for me, these are some of the principles that I apply on a constant basis. Sometimes, like to the point of showing up, sometimes you may not have all the solutions. You will not have all the solutions. You not even have the feeling or the courage to do the thing. But just showing up makes the difference sometimes. Just showing up makes all the, and you find someone else has a solution, or you indeed come with a solution in the course of just being there. Reading and continuous learning, for me, it's part of something that I've embraced and hold dearly. So learning from others, I learn from my kids. I learn from, not just in classroom, but through every avenue, every encounter. It's an opportunity for learning and growing.
As a CEO, how do you think shaping young CEOs that are looking, like young people in the corporate that are looking to be like, oh, one day I want to be a CEO. What are some of the principles that you feel they should lay down, or what are some of the things that you've worked on that has gotten you to where you are?
Well, I'll be very honest. I can't say for a fact that I thought I'd be in this position. I feel privileged, I feel honored to be in this position. What I do know is that over the years I've had access to people, speaking to me, coaching me, mentoring me, inspiring me. I've looked up to people who in positions such as these not necessarily that I wanted to be in the positions, but there was just something good, something positive about what they were doing, the opportunity that they had to make a difference, and just learning from them, and learning from others as well, not just people in positions such as these. So I think preparation is key. And so I find myself in this position now. I'm like, oh, okay, that conversation and that interaction, and that learning opportunity, that degree, and so on. It all comes together somehow. It's all come together, and I only pray that it will indeed work together. For the good of the company and the good of everyone involved in it. So I think I would encourage young people to be ambitious, to not play small, but at the same time, to be content where they are, and to sharpen their skills wherever they are, because you never know what door will open. There's a wise man who wrote this saying that goes, show me a man who is skilled in what he does, he will serve before kings and not before ordinary men. And this wise man was basically saying that it starts with the small things, showing up, doing well, even if it means that you are the cleaner of a company, being the best at it. Before you know it, you're cleaning a small company or a seemingly small company. Next thing, because of your expertise and your diligence, you're being given another opportunity, and before you know it, another. And who knows? Next thing is you're running a company that's looking after that service for multiple clients. So starting with the small things, and I think that it's important for young people to know, responsibility does not start here. It starts right where you are.
You sound like a motivational speaker.
I wish I was.
Coming back to that, I know you are a motivational speaker. So as a motivational speaker, what are some of the things that you feel you've put in play that make you come out well? Because obviously you're very well spoken. So how does one say, oh, I want to become a motivational speaker, but some people are just afraid of speaking out or being able to bring themselves out or articulate properly. So how then do you advise to articulate yourself well, and also to put yourself in a place where people can hear you?
So, I'll say this, I'm not a motivational speaker. Let me confess. I really wish I was, and if I could motivate someone, that would be great.
But you're a speaker.
I do speak, but to the point. Again, I think it's preparation. I think it's the opportunities. I think it's the interest. A book I read by T.D. Jakes. He wrote this book I think 4 or 5 years ago, and the book is titled "Don't Drop the Mic," and it's about the power.
I've seen it.
It's about the power of words. That words have got a way of building, they've got a way of breaking, they've got a way of changing things, changing the course of history, changing the course of a day, changing someone's life. Words have that power, and we have the power to use our words to build or to break. Our words can make someone's day, can break someone's day. Our words can spark ideas just by speaking it, and before you know it, a sketch is coming up, and then before you know it, someone's drawing a hotel or a house, and before you know it, someone's opening a hotel, going to a hotel room and spending a weekend there. But they didn't know that it all started with an idea that was voiced out through a conversation that led to a sketch, drawings, contractors, and then voila, it's done. So we shouldn't undermine the power of our words, and everyone has the ability to use their words. And it could be written, it could be spoken. Not everyone will have a stage. I haven't always had a stage. I will not always have a stage. And so whether you're speaking to a child, whether you're speaking to someone at the market, that could be the only stage you have. And fine, there'll be times you have a stage and stand before a crowd of 500, a crowd of 2,000. That could be your stage.
Have you spoken in a 2,000 crowd?
Oh no, I have seen a lot of people do it, and I'm always amazed at.
How many people have you spoken to?
The largest group I may have spoken to could be possibly maybe 300, maybe 400. I don't know.
That's a good number.
I didn't count. It's high school graduations, college graduations, and other fora as well. If you go online, then maybe the numbers get a bit you bump them up a bit and so on. But regardless of whether I'm speaking to one person or two or three, for me it's the same.
Okay.
I show up. That might be your only chance to speak to that person, to inspire them, or to learn from them as well, and to have that conversation. So make the most of it.
Before I come back to Aries, you're a father and a husband. How, with your busy schedule, because you're a very busy man, how then do you balance your life?
Wow, it's a loaded question. I've been married to my wife Tina for 17 years this year, so 2008 to this year, so 17 years this year. She's an amazing support system. She has sacrificed a lot at times, given up her career to raise the children and to support me in mine. Just as there are times that I've also put a break on my career and say, let me take a few months off. Let me take some time off to support her and support the kids and spend more time with them. So she knows everything that's going on in my life, just as I know what's going on in her life. So we support each other. The kids' biggest support system. I mean, just a great fan club, and love to see them. Through the different stages that they're going through as they're growing. So we've got 3 kids, a girl and 2 boys. And and every moment with them is just special. Every moment with them. And there are times that we'll do things together, we'll go places together. They love playing outdoors. We try and give them as ordinary a life as can be, but obviously we also encourage them to aspire to do good and to make a difference, and stuff like that.
Okay, back to Aries. What is the plan that you have for Aries? Obviously, we're already at the end of the year, but let's look into new year going forward. What's the plan that you have for it?
So like I said, Aries is the product of 2 great companies. So Aries is a great company, and it's on a great path in terms of what it's doing and what it's going to do, but also in terms of what it has done. A great foundation has been laid over the past 8 years that Aries Properties Malawi has been in the market. But that 8 years does not take into account the prior years that were there, because it came out of Nico Asset Managers, which is part of the Nico Holdings Group. Aries Property Group, also has a long history. Okay, a longer history. 17 years as Aries Property Group, and longer if you look at where it is coming from.
Yeah.
So I find myself in a space that is already filled with greatness. Is already filled with opportunities, and so you have no choice, no option other than to be part of that movement and to contribute towards it. There's a strategic plan in place that's being implemented, that's being executed. My primary job as CEO is to support my team and make sure that they win. So every day they show up to work, they come with the attitude that I'm here to win. Because if everyone wins, whether it's a driver who has to arrange logistics for a team member to go from one shopping mall to another client, whether it is a messenger that needs to deliver documents, tenancy documents from the office to 5 different tenants in that day, whether it's a property manager who needs to secure a new deal, get tenants on board, whether it's a facilities team member who needs to ensure that a building is in running condition at all times. My job is to make sure that each of them is winning, because the collective wins that they score add up to the collective win of the whole team. So my job is to make sure that they win. And how do we do this? Simple. Show up, check in on them, make sure that they have the resources that they need, but also provide the guidance that is needed and the coordination between the teams. And so going forward, I see a bright future for the company. I see the company serving customers better, serving customers, more customers, and serving them better. Being accessible, whether it's an individual teacher in Tarire that needs brokerage service for their property, or someone in the diaspora that is looking to build a retirement home or an investment property here, whether it's a large multinational that is looking for office space in one of the prime locations in the city center. I see opportunities, and I see us serving each of those needs.
All right, before you show me around, I have a question for you. If you were to take you 20 years back, what are some of the things that you feel like in my life I would have changed this, I would have changed that, I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have done that? Yeah.
I hope it's okay to say I'll change nothing because
it's good. But this is for somebody who is a younger you that is looking to be you.
I think that, so 20 years ago would take us back to the year 2005.
Somewhere there.
The year 2005, I was in my 4th year, going to final year of my undergrad.
Oh.
At that point in life, I was in college, and I realized that, well, yeah, I'm here for school, but this is a great opportunity to make friends and to learn new things. So I was involved in multiple clubs and extracurricular activities. I think that was very, very important, very, very good for networking and building relationships, a lot of which, you know, I still call upon and feed into and tap from even to this very day. So I've got friends all over working and doing amazing things all over, and it's always good to be able to call them up. It's easier because of the relationships we built there.
Cool.
So I wish I had done more of that. I wish I had, you know, made more friends beyond the many that I made.
Okay. Okay.
But I also wish that I had more conversations about, you know, the space we're in. I did get to travel, I did get to have but I wish I had more. I wish I had, I look back now and I'm like, if I had asked that person that question, if I had learned so much from that person, if I just had that interaction, that 5 minutes with that person, I think I would have had more. So over the years, again, there are conversations that I regret I didn't have more of. And then there are others that I wish I had documented what that person said. It's simply because when you take things for granted. You're having a conversation with a senior citizen, an uncle who's elderly. And when you have that conversation, that interaction, you think it'll always be there. In the midst of the conversation, you're learning a lot, you're absorbing so much. But if you don't write it down and keep a memory of it, it's so easy to lose track and to forget, and it becomes tragic, or harder to make a reference to it. I had an uncle, for example, who taught me pretty much the history of transportation in Malawi. From the days of UTM, the United Transportation Malawi, which had its bus stage at next to ShopRite here in Blantyre, but also where the current game complex sits in Lilongwe. All that was a big bus depot for UTM at the time.
Didn't know that.
Oh yes, it's a bit of history. And how the M1 was built from Blantyre to Lilongwe. 2 contractors who started from each city and were supposed to meet halfway, but one didn't, so the other finished it off. Amazing stories. There's the bus at Chimuzu Museum, which had no windows, and there was a guy who'd sit on the back with a gun, and it was an 8-hour journey from Blantyre to Lilongwe. Why with a gun? Well, at that time there was no tarmac road, and so the bus would go through bushy areas and so on, and wild animals were there, lions and so on. So this guy, his job was to make sure that the passengers were safe. So he had a rifle to fire, and I learned this, you know, from him, and so I wish I had.
I didn't even know that.
A bit more time with those senior citizens. I'm grateful for what I had, but I'm like, I wish I had more, because there's a lot of rich history that this country has. I would always say that if you look at the buildings around, for example, each building has a story. A story about what was there before, what was the thinking to get that building there. What's the house, or it's a big building like, you know, Kangombe House, for example. All of these have got beautiful stories. And I was like, I wish I knew the story myself firsthand.
I hear you. You recently completed your master's again, because in our previous conversation, it was one of your first masters somewhere else. How many masters have you acquired so far?
In short, 2.
That's interesting.
My first master's is an MBA with a concentration in project management. So it's sort of dual, but essentially, it's an MBA. And that was at the University of Dallas in Texas, where I was from 2011 to 2013 as a Fulbright scholar. Whilst living in Minnesota, USA, recently, and came back from there 4 months ago, I took advantage, as my wife was studying and she finished her studies, I took advantage to do a program, a master's in public affairs at the University of Minnesota. Beautiful program. And why public affairs? So in the course of my work, you find that public affairs is not just about government. It's about how projects, programs, and companies engage, organizations engage with the public. What are the policy issues? What are from a policy point of view to implementation, what are the issues? So a lot of projects cut across government, private sector, and so on. So just being able to, for me, it was like learning a new language. And I'm really grateful and really privileged that I had that opportunity for that learning opportunity.
Beautiful. As we walk through and see how your offices look like, because I always budge into people's offices to just
Not
get
a
to
worry.
see.
We can start with my office.
Sure.
So my office, as you can see and as you can tell,
a lot of drawings.
There's stuff I need to write to remind myself, but also remind the team. So there's conversations that are captured on the wall, on the glass wall. And that's erasable, so if we change our minds, we can change that.
Okay.
The door is open, so it's an open door policy. Unless someone comes in and requests that I want to have a private meeting, can we close the door, or I request of it. So the door is always open, and anyone can walk in anytime, and I'm happy with that.
Okay.
It's a very simple office, as you can see. A lot of the stuff that we do is online, digital, so a lot of meetings, documentation and so on. So you're not going to see too many files in this office because a lot of it is online on the servers and stuff. Got a few books and presents from different friends and companies.
Which we won't show.
Well, the one of interest is probably the artwork. Okay. I'll just pull that out a bit. And so this is a sample, and it was customized for.
Is this Blantyre?
So that's a painting of Namingomba Tea Estate, and this was done by Professor Broadhead, and we recently hosted or sponsored an exhibition where he was displaying his artwork.
Wow.
Now, Professor Broadhead, if you know Professor Broadhead, if you know College of Medicine, if you know Chimuzu University of Health Sciences, KUHES now, previously College of Medicine, Professor Broadhead.
I didn't know that.
Well,
now I do.
Well, not only is he a medical, retired now, professor of medicine, a doctor as well. He's also a painter. He's still painting up to now. And so we had an exhibition that we sponsored where he was displaying his paintings, his artworks. Very beautiful. So this came as a present from Vinu Patel, who organized that exhibition and shared it with me. So I had this on my shelf. It's really, really special to me.
It's beautiful.
Okay. Another book that I have, and I love history. So this is a rare book.
Looks like a map.
The image is a map of Malawi. But the book is actually by Giuseppe Bizzarro on the history of Malawi. So Nyasaland and the Bizzarros, if you know, Italian family, early settlers in Malawi, that has invested heavily in construction and real estate and so on. Club Mac, Esau Nicholas, that's them. And so Mr. Bizzarro Senior wrote this book about the, from British Central Africa, this is Nyasaland, through to Malawi, and independence time. So really beautiful books, paintings, and obviously the history book that reading it, you get so much inspiration about great things that have happened. I'm not too sure about that. I'm gonna keep these. You can read in my office anytime. You can come and sit in the corner. You know, enjoy it plus the coffee. But this is gonna be here.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So I think this is the part where we walk around and get to see what you have here.
Okay.
I'll wait for you.
So we have got accounts.
That was it for today, guys, and we were with Mr. Washington Chimuzu. He's been amazing on the show, and he had so much knowledge to pour out and tell us what Eris Properties is about and what they do. So I was very excited to have you on the show, and thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me and my team on the show.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
For now, it's goodbye.